Alrighty then, here we are again. It is another wonderful morning, and I am trying to make the most of it. It is much later than it normally is. Once again, I am not late. I just was slow at getting up and going this morning, and that's fine because we all are allowed to do that from time to time. I didn't have an overly productive night last night. It was not unproductive. I was mostly unmotivated. I made the mistake of getting on Xbox as soon as I got home and played way too many games immediately thereafter. And then I finally did break away and was like, okay, I'm going to go do something else. And I did something else, but I didn't do a whole lot. I was going to try and write some work into my new novel, but what wound up happening was I got like 2 paragraphs in and just was not feeling it. And I needed to clean the kitchen, so I committed to cleaning the kitchen. And then after that, I ate dinner and got back on Xbox. And I try not to kick myself over these decisions too frequently because I'm what am I looking for here? I'm still productive enough that I don't feel like I'm falling into a trap of some level of unproductivity, but I'm still kicking myself for wishing that I had been more productive than I really truly was. And so I'm starting to wonder if maybe holding the camera is more detrimental than letting it do its own thing. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to tell. I feel like it shakes a lot in my hand, but I feel like if I don't hold it, then it shakes even more. And at some point in time, I should really pay attention to videos where I'm driving and I'm holding the camera versus videos where I'm driving and I'm not holding the camera, and see which one stabilizes it better. Like, it just makes sense that if I hold the camera, I stabilize it. But to the same end, it still feels like it's shaking a decent amount while I'm holding it. But then it's like, okay, but imagine how much it would shake if you weren't holding it. So, but just sometimes I go back and watch these videos and I'm like, that camera is way too shaky. Like, ain't nobody gonna watch that and really want to see what's going on there. And so hopefully I can find a good happy medium. I got back into Dry Creek Wrangler School today. He was talking about how it took them about 2 years to hit 1 million subscribers, and they were doing really well for themselves. And I have no idea. I've just been throwing stuff out there for a while now, hoping for success, and I have not really experienced it yet. And that's part of the journey. I keep having to reminding myself that I am only a couple months into this journey, but still would like to feel like I'm getting somewhere, or that I'm doing something. It's the thought of progression, and I came to this realization. I feel like I've come to this realization in a multitude of ways in my life, but I have recently come to the realization of how important progression is, and a feeling thereof, because of a video game, actually. I'm a huge fan of these asymmetrical multiplayer games, these kind of cat and mouse games, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game came out, and I was really into that game, having a good time with it. And then I realized I was kind of all of a sudden unmotivated to play the game, and I never really understood why, or what the issue was for me with that game. But eventually my friends lost interest and I stopped playing it anyway. But then I had this one friend who kind of came back to life on Xbox and was not around when the game first came out, so now he's madly in love with it and playing it all the time. And so I'm playing it with him as part 2, so to speak. And That's all well and good, but it made me kind of question, why did I stop playing the game to begin with? And I remember around the time that he came back, they were doing double XP. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was really getting somewhere in this game, like I was progressing in the game. And that felt really good. And so then from there, it got me to analyze, like, why does feeling this game feel so good now when it never felt good before? And it came down to that feeling of progression. Now, I feel like this game has a bit of a broken progression system in that, like, there should be some sort of XP bonus just for, like, time played or match completion. But, like, you reach the point in this game where you need, I don't know, 30,000 XP to level up or whatever it is, and it isn't uncommon to, like, finish a game with 75 XP. And, like, I'm sorry, but if it takes 30,000 XP to level up, there should be no way you can complete a game with 75 XP, like just 75 XP. And, like, no wonder I stopped playing it, or I lost interest, because it took me a very long time to progress. Now, granted, you can pour a lot of hours and time into any game, and you naturally get good at it, and you maybe will average like 1,000 to 1,200 every game. But that still feels low on the grand scheme of things. And for someone like me who really only allots like an hour a night to playing games, like, that is a leveling system that just does not work for me. And maybe if I liked the game more, I would play it more. Like, I feel like the last game that came out that I was really into was Evil Dead. And that game was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I did a lot of good things on that game. A lot of the friends that I made on Xbox Live, or recently made on Xbox Live, I made on that game. And we still to this day talk, we still play games together, and it was just a whole experience, which is interesting that it is that way. But at any rate, so now with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like, it's a fun game. I don't mind playing it. It is, like, fundamentally speaking, it is not my favorite thing to play. Like, there are times where I'm just like, nah, like, I would rather not play this game anymore. And universally speaking, I've heard a lot more bad about it than I've heard good. I think the issue is I don't have anything else to play, so to speak. I don't have another game to occupy my time with. And so because of that, I'm stuck here playing this game with what few friends I have that still get on Xbox. And but I'm getting off track here. The whole point of it was progression. Like, that game, in my opinion, has a terrible progression system, and it single-handedly kept me from playing the game, because I was like, why am I playing this game when it takes me like months just to level up once? And part of that, sure, is like I could get better and earn more points per match, but I still think that there is a point to be made that a game should not let you complete the whole game and only earn 75 XP. Like, it's not worth my time at that point to even play. Like, why did I do this? And, like, that's going to happen. Like, even if you're a good player, you're going to die soon or early some games, and you're not going to have the opportunities to get all the points that maybe you could have or should have. And so with that being said, like, I think that's a huge demotivator for me, and it's a huge demotivator, like, in life. Like, if I feel like I'm doing something and I'm putting a large amount of effort into it and I'm not getting any sort of progression out of it, then that begs the same question of, like, what's the point? And so, like, I'm running these ad campaigns now on my book to try and get people to notice them, to try and get people to start reading them. And I go on and check in on the ad campaign every now and again, and it gives me my impressions. And they're like, we've shown your book to 440 people. Not a single of that one of them bought the thing, but we done showed it. And like, to a degree, the 440 feels like progression, because without the ad, like, had 440 people even seen this book? I don't know. I have over 600 friends on Facebook, and I always post about the books that I release. So did 400 of my 600 Facebook friends see it? And at that point, is the amount of impressions my Facebook post got worth the same amount of impressions that this ad campaign has got me? And still yet, both of which have yielded me no major success in terms of sales. And so it's just an interesting and unfortunate world that I find myself stuck in. And like, how do I stand out from the crowd? How do I make myself known? And how do I like get out of the noise, so to speak? Because I really enjoy writing books and telling these stories, but it's very difficult to keep doing that when you know no one else cares to read them. And so I keep saying that I want to grow more locally. I need to focus on the local market and get people noticing me in the local market, but it goes beyond that. I really need to figure out a way to break through in some shape or form on this internet platform. And like, there are the cheat codes of like trying to do content where you more or less sell yourself on the internet. And like, if I'm being honest, I'm not completely opposed to that. I feel like people who take the time to sculpt their body in a way that they can be proud should also be proud to parade that around. Like, I don't feel that there should be any shame for people not necessarily being nude, but wearing less clothing than normal because they're proud of what they've accomplished. But like, to the same end, there's a time and a place for that. Like, if I were writing romance novels, then yeah, maybe being this hunk of a person who advertises his books without clothes on would be appropriate. But like, I don't write those sorts of books. In fact, romance is pretty far from a main point of any of my plots, and so it wouldn't make sense, and it's misleading at that point. But it's like, do you do these things just for the sake of getting attention, and then hope that once you've got the attention, you can convert these people into what you want or need them to be? Or do you continue to try and get the attention on the right track? And like, in terms of Instagram, I've been posting pretty frequently now for just over a year. It was the summer of 22 that I started, so the summer of 23 would have been 1 year. This coming summer would be 2, and I have not made any significant progress on that platform. And I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm doing something right, and I just need to keep waiting, or what. But like, keep waiting and putting out content just does not seem like the right way to go. I mean, same kind of vein of what I'm doing here. Like, I'm gonna upload 365 videos this year, if not more. I was hoping, and I think this is now wishful thinking, but I was really hoping that I would hit 365 by May, and then I would start doubling up and releasing 2 videos a day, and really just attacking YouTube with all my ferocity. And like, Dry Creek Wrangler School, which is a content pool that I enjoy, that I really like, they have they were at it for 2 years before they started, or before they hit the 1 million. But it's like, at what point in time did they start gaining traction? Because obviously, well before they hit 1 million, they had a healthy amount of traction on their channel. And so I need to figure out for myself, like, what do I need to do to start getting some traction? Is that an ad campaign? Is that just continuing to be consistent and hoping for the best? I don't know. I don't feel like the in-video ads on YouTube is the best way to go. Like, rarely do I ever see one of those in-video ads and think, oh yeah, I need to go and check this person out. I only ever do that if it's music. Music videos and music is the only ever times where I have those in-video ads and I'm like, wow, I think that I will, I think that I'll go check this out. But otherwise, if it's just like somebody talking to me or somebody promoting whatever it is they're promoting, like, no, just it doesn't happen to me. And so, and another successful YouTuber kind of pointed the same thing out. They're like, those are not the greatest ways to do it. Like, most people don't go on YouTube and search things anymore. They go on YouTube because they're trying to find something to do, something to watch, and their related searches is usually what gets them what they want to be. So you want to be in that related search or on that home page in order to get people's attention. And like, so we'll have to see we'll just have to see what we can do with the information that I have provided. I have this small little bank that I bank with. I used to work there, and I just left a trivial amount of money in there that I frequently forget about. And I was like, you know, since I forget about this, we're going now over to investing. I did a quick change on you guys. I hope you can keep up. Since I don't keep very much in this account, and I don't want to close it because I'm attached to the bank, if you will, I decided that I was going to instead just roll the money into a CD and just keep rolling it into a CD every year. Roll it and roll it and roll it and roll it, because it might as well earn some level of interest while I'm doing nothing with it. And I was looking at their rates, and their rates are just absolute garbage. It's barely even worth my time to do it. And so, like, the cost of living percentage is about 3% every year. And so you want to make more than 3% on your money in order to at least, well, you want to make 3% to at least keep up with the cost of living. But if you really want to do well, you want to get more than that so you can start turning a profit and having your money work for you. And so their CD rates were more or less a joke. And I needed to, give me a think, it'll come to me. I needed to, get $1,000 in there anyway, which I don't have $1,000 in there. I have like 800 or something. And so I was like, well, I could just easily enough go pull $200 out and turn it into 1,000 and roll it into a CD. But I also have like a lot of other money related things going on. So I was like, right now, this is not my primary focus. And I'm doing pretty good this month so far. We are halfway through the month, and I have not reached a point where I'm afraid to spend money yet. Usually what happens is I get to the half month marker, or no, I get to like a couple days after, because I get paid on the last day of the month. And so the first week of the month, I've usually spent all the money that I plan to spend, and then I'm like tiptoeing my way through the rest of the month. And so this is the first month in a while now where I'm like, okay, I'm doing good, I'm fine. And I want to keep that going. I don't want to just keep throwing money at things. So at any rate, this has been a day. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a good one, because I'm going to go try and make it a good one for myself.